Relationship Committee together here. My co-chair is on and out, and that's a good thing. I perused the minutes of February 27th. No, February 27th, 2023, and they seem accurate. So we'll move forward with those minutes. Then next we have on agenda number 2 is a discussion concerning, is that
Pristine.
Pristine Magazine.
Wonderful. Could I give you some information just
Well,
on top of
you surely can. It's sitting right here from my co-chair when she
that
comes.
is our budget, and this is a copy of the template of the magazine. I'll give everybody one here just to look at. Yours.
Thank you.
And then I'll make sure she gets a copy of our fiscal year 2023 budget. And
This is your magazine?
yes,
Okay. All right.
that is my lovely fiance on the front of it.
Oh, it is.
So we put it front and center. That's a sign of a good man. Put his wife out there front.
So, if I can just give you an overview of what we're trying to do. I'm the president of the board of directors for Pristine, and what we're attempting to do,
Would you say your name, please, sir?
Shokwe Pitchford.
Okay.
So Lauren Urell Scott founded Pristine Magazine in the summer of 2022, and her goal was to break the communications barrier between residents, governments, businesses, and current events in the city of Benton Harbor. The city of Benton Harbor has extraordinary residents that should be continually highlighted and supported, a capable and nimble city government blessed with state and federal resources to tackle century-old problems that face municipal government. Subsequently, new and existing businesses that deserve exposure and support to build their economic power. Pristine can empower all. However, we cannot exist in a silo. We are less disenfranchised than disconnected, less broken than disenchanted, less depressed than devalued. Therefore, Pristine Magazine presents the following proposal: a partnership with the city of Benton Harbor to serve every single resident, home, and business with copies of said magazine that will highlight and serve the residents of Benton Harbor. We are requesting from the city that the cost of each edition be incurred by the city for fiscal year 2023. In return, the city will receive prime real estate within each edition for updates, job opportunities, project updates, and giving the city the ability to reach every single resident every month and an ability to guide their own narrative. Hello.
Hello.
And if you like, I could repeat that, just so Ms. Adams.
You need me to go. I got some stuff for you. You get a presentation.
Would you like me to repeat that?
No, she can.
Yes,
she
please,
probably
Mr.
already
Showboy.
read
Thank
it
you, sir.
already.
Appreciate you.
Oh, she does
Yeah.
one.
It's on there. Thank you.
So, to give you an idea of why the requested amount is $32,500. We've been doing mailings a lot. I run 2 nonprofits, Berrien Forward and Berrien Connection, and one of our principal missions is communication for the entirety of Berrien County. However, my heart and soul is in the city of Benton Harbor, and we know that Benton Harbor has its own needs, and we wanted to create a communications vehicle for the city of Benton Harbor to be able to communicate directly with residents so that businesses could communicate directly with residents. And every single household in the city of Benton Harbor, every address would receive one of these magazines every month. So if you're someone that's maybe homebound, elderly, you're not able to get out as much, you know when something is happening in the community via a community calendar that will be in this magazines. Businesses will be able to purchase advertisements in the magazines. And because of our funding model, leaning more on some of the larger businesses to be able to sponsor this, each business would only have to pay $100 to get their advertisement in the magazine for the month. Going out to each residence, that's 34 cents per piece. We've already gotten that price checked through JB Printing. What we would do was send them the PDF and the InDesign of the magazine every month after working with all of our partners to get their advertisements or the city's narrative for 3 or 4 pages into the magazine that month. And it would be sent to every single resident. And they would wake up one morning and one of these would be at their door to be able to read what's going on specifically in the city of Benton Harbor. That's Benton Harbor businesses, events, entrepreneurs, up and coming stars, things of that nature. Give you just a little bit more. The last thing, to address the elephant in the room, we do not believe we are in competition with anyone else. We believe that we are going to be complementary. One of the main people we've heard about, of course, is the Benton Spirit. And the difference between us and the Benton Spirit is that this is going to go directly to every door of every single person in the city of Benton Harbor. And this is not journalism. This is specifically a narrative piece that is going to highlight businesses, people, and the essence of the city of Benton Harbor. We want to be able to guide our own narrative and give our residents a chance to see the greatness that's in their city, and not just every time you open up the Herald Palladium, you see something about another shooting that has happened. In this magazine, you see we're hiding people like Donovan Frazier, Present Pillars. We're highlighting Paul Mound, Ghostlight Downtown. We're trying to have a wide swath of what we're doing. We have Audie in there from Soul's Ground Cafe, just to show you that there are things to do in the city of Benton Harbor. And I think the residents should be able to know what they have available at their fingertips.
Well, some of everything that we're looking for. And I'm sorry, I looked at this and I wrote down some notes and forgot to bring my notes, so I'm looking at it again. and
No,
trying to
take your
refresh.
time, please. I'll be able to answer any questions.
Commissioner Adams, did you have any thoughts or about this presentation? I love it. I heard a brief introduction about it a couple of months ago.
Mhm.
When it was advertised to the community to bring awareness that it was coming. And it's something that's long overdue. And you know, I hate to bring it up, I mean, we need this. We need this, and just looking at it and the quality is fantastic. It reminds me, I'm not sure if anybody else has heard about it, but the state of Michigan has its first Black-owned film resource coming out of Detroit. They're getting every angle of what's been missing in our Black lives. I'm sure there will be features of some of our allies as well, but it's a Black thing, and it's okay. We will never catch up. But as long as we're on board at trying to inform the world of things and great things that we are doing is wonderful. And it always comes back to pricing. Pricing, that thing that we just don't have. I can't tell you how long I've been trying to get $8,000. I've created businesses, and I spearheaded some things and put some things in place, and I pulled so many teeth amongst my colleagues up here to ensure that I was getting something done to get the training that some of our 24 to 40-year-olds need, and they still need it. It's the thing that's lacking that they're not getting from, I don't even have to name source, but I constantly, as an elected official, make it my business to try to do things to find the money because of fantastic things like this that shows up. And I can assure you that I'm going to do just that. Continue to try to find some money. And it reminds me of a mission that I was on earlier, and I dare not mention it right now, but as I was over at the county administrative building today, I find making my business to look up some things, because we as residents and taxpayers are taxed to the max. And we all know that taxes are going up in Michigan all around, this year. Somebody's not paying their fair share of taxes, and we're gonna have to have a grave discussion about it. Okay? Everything is public knowledge over at the county of being in, okay? You can go pull my records if you want to, property, information. Somebody is not doing us due diligence. We have gone as far as entering into another contract with a cell tower that's going to be bringing us 10,000 a year. More, or not sure how much more than what it was. But it's things like that that I look at to see if we can put towards something this fantastic. So we still gotta keep searching. Because I don't even think that, how much is in the budget? If we're about to look at the budget. I don't know who saw me go live earlier, but I just happened when I was over at the county. I saw a couple of fire trucks. I was finna head this way and I saw a couple of our officers coming over. I'm like, why are their sirens on coming over to St. Joe? But that's a good thing. That's a good thing that we're not that far away, that we can help each other out. There was a fire situation. And I'm glad that we can work together like that, as we should in other realms of possibilities as well. But if we can work more like that together, we can look at ways of doing some budget cuts. Because not only training, we're looking at a big piece of land down here to possibly do a indoor-outdoor skating rink for the community as a whole that would invite surrounding communities and stuff down by Ox Creek. We have our work cut out for us. And I'm glad that you're one of our county commissioners, because we could use you all's help as well, working with the city of Benton Harbor.
Right.
When funding comes on a county level, of how you can defer some of those funds to us to get some things like the skating rink done that would benefit us all. Yeah. But this is a wonderful idea. I love it. And it adds quality to Benton Harbor. Where can we find the money?
And to give you a long view, we would, if awarded this money, we're still going to move forward with this. We're going to try to find the funds where we can. We would like for the city of Benton Harbor to sponsor this so that the city of Benton Harbor has ownership as well. Because we want to be able to put a narrative in each and every edition from the city of Benton Harbor about what you want to tell your residents, whether it's job opportunities, training. You're talking about, imagine what this would have been like during the lead crisis, being able to have direct communications to every single resident about what to do, what not to do, how to move through this. But then every single edition is going to have a different person on the cover of it, different people highlighted inside of it, a different array of businesses, a community calendar in every edition, so you know what's coming up next in your community for you to do.
Okay, let me ask you this. Because ink is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I pay for it every month, whether I use it or not. Would you have something available for, like other companies that allow customers, or the option to go green? Like this page folding over on its own site,
Okay.
keeping up with things for people that
Are you
don't
saying an
want.
electronic version?
Yes.
Yes. So there are multiple components to this business. There's the direct mailing to each address. There's also the online website, Black Wall Street / PDF version, where we're going to get a coalition of businesses in the city of Benton Harbor together to have an online website to be able to buy specific products in the city of Benton Harbor. So a person has a singular place to go to be able to find whatever it is people are selling, to be able to have an official place where that could then go to their website, send them a direct order, have a PDF version of that they could flip through online, there's a diaspora of things we want to do. We want to be able to collect email addresses so everybody gets emailed a copy of this as well, to make sure there's no way you don't see it. It is everywhere. Digital ads through a monetized Facebook page for specific businesses that want to elect to do that, targeted to a specific demographic so that they're able to advertise to specific people in the city of Benton Harbor they want to. Say if Larks is having a specific sale or some type of thing, they could advertise specifically to a neighborhood or a block if they wanted to get that granular.
What I love about this is the fact that some of the elderly people that don't, not internet savvy would have this in their hands.
Yep.
Even as a licensed professional cosmetologist, we've gotten away from the books.
Yep.
in the beauty shop. Everything is digital. And they started coming in when this started happening like 10 years ago, fading away slowly but surely. It's like, where are the books?
Right.
I mean, there aren't any. And you have to give them a tablet and try to find the style. But it's kind of like getting away from cursive in school. I got an 18-year-old. I asked him to sign his name. He said, I don't know how. I'm like, you 18 and you don't know how to sign? He said they didn't teach us.
Cursive.
I'm like, you're going to have to make a dot or something to represent you. I mean, I didn't know that though. But I would really like to see this. And with some of the nonprofits that I'm affiliated with, I won't make any promises, but I'll do my due diligence in trying to see if they would, As a matter of fact, I'd like, I have it right here. And not to be discriminatory or anything, but I think I needed to say Black owned. Can you give me that? Okay. When I present it, okay. Well, let me, are you finished up? Yes, ma'am. Thank you. On your, budget,
Yes,
there
ma'am.
is website hosting and website upkeep and design. Can you give me more information about what that would detail?
So when you purchase a website, we're going to go through a site called Fiverr. There are people on there that can create the website for us with direction. That is to host it. So in order to have a website for a year, you have to be able to pay for it monthly to hold the domain name. Then upkeep and design is that every month somebody is going to have to go on that website, update with the new additions, put new pictures on there, make sure all the links are working, get into the granular code that I don't necessarily have the expertise to do, but I know as a good leader and director, I need to find the people who do know how to do those things and empower them to be able to keep this website going. Because the last thing you want is for the August edition to go out, but it's still the May edition on the website, and there's no continuity between the two.
I'm learning how to do this, and it's very important. Okay, and as far as information from the city,
Yes, ma'am.
what was your recommendation or suggestion, or how do you get the information from the city?
So we thought about one of three ways. It could be a direct relationship with city staff. It could be a direct relationship with this committee, or it could be a combination of those two things. Making sure that the city every month comes up with what is it that they want to advertise to the citizens.
Would that be our city clerk that works directly with the web designer of our website? Or is-
You wanna give me something else to do?
I need to.
No,
for
that
him
was a
to finish.
question.
I know, but I need him to finish so he can tell me.
And if the administrative burden on the city might be too much, because that is a lot to do every month to come up with 3 or 4 pages of content, what we could also do is if you would submit to us just correspondences throughout the month of what the city is doing, we could compile that together and create the 3 or 4 pages and present it to you and say, does this seem acceptable? And if it does, we could run it that way.
That's what that hosting.
Yep.
And upkeep design does. Okay. And that's about the price too. That's what I need to hear. Our lead Commissioner Ethel Clark Griffin is in the house, and I have a question or comment.
Yes, I just saw the content of, I knew about it prior, but, those businesses that are in there, are they paying for you to advertise?
So the businesses that are in there currently were all test runs. We allowed them to be in the initial ad magazine for free. The only
Okay.
two that actually paid in, they wanted to donate $100, which they did. A lot of this funding came from my other nonprofit where I used as a granting agency to get this pilot off the ground. But everyone in there at the moment just said, we're interested, so come interview us, take some pictures, and you can use us for this test run.
Okay, and then you mentioned for example, like businesses, advertising like marks and stuff. So if we decide to pay for it and their businesses are being advertised, which therefore bring them businesses, are they gonna be paying you for ad and are they gonna be contributing to you guys?
Yes, so the business model that we're working on right now is we're asking the city to incur the cost of sending it to each household. The businesses would only have to pay $100 for a full page ad as you see there. And that is in order to build the base in case the city cannot continue to do it for the next years after that.
Okay, so what I just heard him say was, let her finish. Oh, Commissioner.
And also, if
Yeah.
we're, is it gonna be going to surrounding communities also?
So currently, right now, it is specifically for Benton Harbor, and we have no plans to expand outside of the city of Benton Harbor. The only thing we may expand out to is Benton Township.
Cause what I don't want to happen, and is to us to be putting this cost, of course, I think it's a good thing, but I don't want us to just be putting this cost, but everybody else reaping the benefit. Other businesses, other areas, so, cause if that's the case, they should be putting some also.
They definitely are going to be paying in, but that is also why we would allow the city to have a certain amount of space that is guaranteed in every edition, so that you're able to put out correspondence as much as you like.
Okay, and then, I just wanted to say, through the chair to the city clerk, the newsletter that we were talking about, what was the budget, what was that we came up with that we allowed for the newsletter
City manager?
or city manager?
I don't recall what the budget was.
Well, the chair,
I know it was for.
because I was here, but I can't.
Correct, 4
It was
editions, but
4
I'm
editions.
not sure what the cost of.
And I think it was, I can't. I won't.
The reason I asked that because, if we were to do this, I wouldn't really see a new cost for a need for the newsletter. Because this is gonna be going out to every house anyway.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be advertising and, getting the word out. So that's just something to think about.
We've got two,
Instead of
we've
doing
actually
both.
got two projects, for consideration. So I kind of waited for them to come in and do their presentation before we make a decision.
Okay, for whatever project, we don't need
It needs to
two.
happen immediately, whatever it is.
And we don't need two because there'll be two causes.
Yeah.
If they're gonna do it, then we don't need another person or news value. So that's just,
And then to the point of what the relationship would be, whatever content you would have had in the newsletter could just be what you put into this magazine monthly.
Gotcha. No, Commissioner?
Oh, okay. I had lost that thought, and she said something else that brought it back. Thank you, Commissioner. The fact that that we deal with barcodes and stuff now, it would be helpful.
Okay.
If this magazine is, say, somebody left it at Veterans Center for Health, and there's a public notice and a public hearing with a 30-day period of public comments, and it's got that barcode, and man, now I want to take the magazine because I'm trying to eliminate paper, so I got my phone and I can,
Okay. Really?
making things accessible
Yeah.
and easy in this fast-paced world that we're living in, just convenient things like that.
It's a good
I'm
suggestion.
not sure. And if you're publishing once a month,
Mhm.
so I guess that 30-day period would work. Even if a person has 15 days left. And it's been out for a whole month, but still, yeah, they have the time. How many days, how many publishings of the newsletter were we going to do a month?
We were looking at doing 2 a month,
Okay,
but then we asked for more. No, but is it 2 a month or 1 a month?
It's for a year. We asked for 8
For
per
a year.
year,
Right,
which would have been every 2 months,
8 per year, okay.
or every month and a half.
But this right here would be sowing into our youth, young leadership. Actually having something that, well, I can't say we, because we can't take the credit for something we didn't create. But something we call our own for a change. It's just like we have Juneteenth coming up, how it could be grand that when the applications come through and that barcode is right there and take people straight to the, when you guys get ready to release that, applications are
It's already
available.
released.
Yes.
It's everywhere already.
But,
Alright.
yeah, that'd be wonderful.
all right, does any other citizens have a comment? Then we're gonna let staff step in.
I got a question. Will it be released in the beginning of the month or in the middle of the month?
The beginning. It'll be the beginning of every month.
Any other resident or, and then we'll let staff chime in, Mr. Mitchell. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Duncan.
I was just trying to wait till everybody else has spoken. Matter of fact, I can wait till they finish speaking. to
Well, whenever
have
you
a-
want to.
I'll wait until they
Okay.
finish speaking.
Mr. Mitchell, do you have any comment, question, concern?
No comment, I'm just hearing about this for the first time.
Okay,
Your
I'll
thoughts?
ask you to, please do your diligent work on it. We'll bring it back to committee, next month. I think we might be ready to look at both, presentations next month. Cause, I'm hoping that we get a line of communication started in April. It might be May, but we're trying hard for it to be April. So, Mr. Mitchell, please. Do your due diligence. Madam Clerk, do you have any question, comments, or thoughts?
I do, so, is this going to be mailed to every resident or every household?
Every household. So
Because
go ahead.
the budget says mailing price per piece or per resident for 9,103 residents.
Mhm.
At 34 cents a piece is 3,100. We don't have 9,103 households.
Correct. So what happened is we reached out to JB Printing, which is a printer that I've used for a very long time. And we said, what is going to be the cost per month to send something to every single resident in the city of Benton Harbor? They came back with that number. What the caveat was, it would be easier on an administrative standpoint to send it to every household in the city and have it not say this is going to Tina Snow, but to say resident of this address. So then it would go to every address. And this is the price that we negotiated out with them, since we would be doing such a large bulk purchasing every month.
Okay, so it'd be $33,100 to cover one per household.
Correct.
How much?
$3,100 plus the cost of the design, so $3,250 per month.
Per month.
How much is that here?
$32,500.
Oh, okay. So what was that printing company you say you used?
JB Printing,
JB?
yes.
They're local?
They are out of Kalamazoo.
We use it well, not
That's a union.
Yeah, it's a union.
LA? Oh, okay. Don't have anybody local? What happened to the place over here? Okay,
Harvard Gravity, is that what you talking about? Because they moved to St. Joe, you talking about Harvard Gravity?
oh, they moved to St. Joe?
No, they're talking about the one right here. We got
On the
several,
side of
we
the
got several,
Fidelity,
so
on the side of the
I think that's
Fidelity
what you're
building.
talking
whoever you're negotiating with is.
No, I'm just asking
who they
because-
deal with.
We, for the past 20, 30 years that I've sat down here, always talking about trying to keep our money in our community. but I guess we want quality too, so.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Duncan.
It's almost April, and the way it sounds, we're not gonna have the flyer going out through the city that you guys were talking about for a long time,
Your newsletter,
the newsletter.
we're still working on the newsletter, Mr. Duncan.
You're working on it, is that something was gonna happen?
Something's gonna happen. We got,
I'm,
yes, something is gonna happen, so we gotta make a decision on what is gonna happen. We have 2 presentations, and we're gonna make a decision on which one is gonna be the best project.
what is the other project then?
The other project was to look at a newsletter through Benton Spirit.
Okay.
It started out as a volunteer, and it didn't happen. So now we're looking at 2 projects.
Okay, well, I'm happy you're doing something, brother. Because if we can't do something, and I'm hoping we can do something together, but I haven't seen any togetherness around here, me personally. And I don't have anything against any brother doing anything to help the city. I'll fight with you on it. But to have if the city's part ownership, that's what you said?
Yes, sir.
I'm okay with it, personally. Because the citizens, the commissioners will have a voice in it as well as the staff. That's what you're saying?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, I'm with you on it.
I just can't help myself.
Well, just one more.
So, will you have a person, let's say it's an event going on,
Mhm.
and somebody wants you to come out to take a picture and write an article about that event, will you have someone doing that? Probably not right away, but like in the.
Not right away, and I do want to understand the different jurisdictions that we would fall into. We don't want to try to become this preeminent force that battles with places with people like the Benton Spirit, right? We don't want to show up and do an article about something because we're not journalism. We're more marketing and trying to show what it is the city has. So what we would do is, if there was a flyer for that event, we would have wanted to make sure everybody knew that event happened beforehand.
Well, I just want to ask something very personal now, because I know that you are very astute, and you know a little bit about government now. What do you think about place making in government?
Placemaking. Could you expand on that a little bit?
Nope. Nope. I got a good understanding of it, but I'll leave it to you, and the next time you and I have the conversation, we'll have a conversation about it.
Okay, I'll look into it.
Okay. Commissioner, you wanted to say something else?
I'm always looking at ways to save $1 and get something done and let quality out at the same time. So I know that this is new and you guys are just starting out, and you mentioned the printing company of JB that you use. When I first started out, I spent a lot of money in camera equipment and other things that I could save my money and have what I need.
Yep.
Instead of renting it or having to call somebody else and they're not available, but establishing my own. When I was doing events and stuff like that, buying my own elegant chafing pans as opposed to running out to Taylor Rental, but having things accessible and available. Have you guys thought ahead of time to actually start looking at creating jobs within the
Yes.
community with doing your own printing?
So our long-term vision is to have our own production center where we wouldn't have to use a place like JB. This is going to hopefully become something where we can employ people in the community,
Exactly.
where you have someone that's going to be specifically going out and getting advertisements into the newsletter. You're going to have people going out actually into the community, trying to find people who want to expand on what they're doing. We also want to have our own printers so that we can create that without having to use someone else, and then be able to mail it out ourselves as well. Yes.
Makes sense, yes. Cost savings and creating jobs and keeping our money in our own community.
And what I can do, I could tell you, I will get a second quote from a local printer just to see what the price difference may be locally.
But check your quality too.
Yes, that is also something that's very important. What I want is when somebody picks that up, I don't want them to think at first, this is about Benton Harbor. I
Yeah.
want them to open it and be surprised that
You
this
want
is about my community.
Because this doesn't say Benton Harbor, nowhere. It says elegance, and it just makes me want to open it up and see, what is this pristine thing about?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And this is a prototype. There will be a little bit of expansion on the front of it. If the city does partner with us, we plan to have a seal on the front that says like City of Benton Harbor sponsored or something like that, just so people know what they're looking at. Because I don't want them to look over it either, just thinking that it's like Vogue or Teen Magazine that's sitting there.
Well, I think I can speak for Project Need Foundation, which is why it came into fruition. Because this is a project that's needed among so many others. And I will do what I can to make sure that they do their part of sponsoring, along with some other orgs that I'm affiliated with. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to this.
Yes, sir.
Could we get a presentation for personnel and finance?
I'm sorry.
Could you come to personnel and finance to get a presentation or?
No,
I think we're gonna try to push it fast,
Yep.
as
I was
fast as we
asking.
can. We're not gonna kick the can down the road anymore. We already know what we want and we got two good selections. So no, we're not gonna kick it down the road. Mr. Duck, would you?
I'm not sure if I heard you say it or not, but would there be like an employment area where people could actually find employment?
Yes.
I like to go one better even too. It's a lot of brothers being released, a lot of people being released, I'll just say it like that.
Mm.
Neighborhood people being released that will be looking for jobs when their feet hit the ground. And I like your newspaper to kind of champion that and find resources to help them out,
Okay.
because in the city we have no help at all on that level. And that's my only hope that you'll do. I think you do great with what you're doing, but I like you not to forget people who really need the help the most.
We will do that.
Okay.
We will do that.
Thank you.
this is about advertisement and paying for an ad. Okay.
Any more questions, comments, or concerns? Okay,
Bringing this back in April.
yeah. We're gonna get it to Mr. Mitchell. We're waiting, Mr. Mitchell. This is gonna be determined on your recommendation and your expertise.
Madam Chair,
Well, we want to-
I said no at first, but I think it was
Yeah.
Resident Miguel that asked a question about sending this to Personnel and Finance.
Autograph this for me.
I cannot be
And your phone
selfish.
number.
I cannot be selfish in thinking about Manchester Bidwell and how long I've been waiting to try to get some money to be able to put something into play career-wise for those people that Mr. Duncan spoke of that's getting out and being released. See, if we don't do something to put people on a career path to gain willful employment, they can't purchase a house, eat, or anything else, have a success story that would go into something like this. But I think that it would do our due diligence is sending this forward to the Personnel and Finance Committee.
We're gonna push it forward. We're not gonna drag it around anymore. We're gonna
Wait a
let the city manager do it, make a
Okay.
decision, and then it's gonna come back to this committee and it's gonna be done.
No, I think that it would be no more than fair to send this to Personnel and Finance.
I don't wanna send it anywhere, cause I know what happens in our
I
community.
don't wanna see it shot down by going straight to
it's not gonna.
We have to
nothing-
find the funding
We're not shooting anything down, we're making a decision.
to
And
do
we're
what?
gonna move forward with one or the other. Because the bottom line is, we need communication.
Okay, so we have
We
the
need a
funding.
line of communication between the citizens and government.
You're right, but,
We have a line item for the
Okay.
newsletter.
okay, good deal. So we have funding. Okay, good deal. So I guess you can shoot it forward.
Okay,
Thank you all.
thank you.
Yes, sir. Oh,
I guess we talked about the
I'm
newsletter
Give me a
in,
call.
in a little bit. Newsletters, we'll just
Right there.
hold on to it. Radio station, have we had any response from Benton Harbor?
We had a person coming.
Yeah, I thought he said he was
Said he's
coming.
gonna be here.
Who was that
Where?
person?
What's his name?
from the where? Radio
Demari.
station?
Demaring at Gidry.
Oh, Demari.
So apparently the radio station runs 24/7.
No, they just wound, it just loops.
Rewind.
The same music
Like on
that,
autoplay.
yeah, the same
Sometimes.
music that we were playing when it was down in the basement. It's doing the same thing.
Because I did listen to it today and that's all I heard.
And that's all you're gonna hear, the same loop, that old music. I'm
Well,
surprised the kids even
well-
listening to it.
Like,
And it's 96.5.
Yeah,
96.5.
yeah,
That's a high school.
yeah, but it used to
Wait a
be
minute.
ours,
Yeah, I
it
mean, I
used to
was
be
an
government, I know, yeah, I remember
96.5.
you, that's when you first came.
6.5.
Okay, anything
Okay, so-
else about the radio, we're just,
Yes,
Waiting on
if I may ask.
Ask him to come.
we'll ask him to
Next
come back, yeah.
Okay, so my question is 96.5, is that AM or FM?
It's FM.
FM, and that was ours,
That was
and
the
it's still
community.
running?
Yeah, that's the community.
It's
access.
still running. You heard it, Clerk Moore? So where is it running from?
High school.
Okay, so why are we discussing it instead of strengthening our babies?
They're not doing anything with it.
That's
They're-
what I'm saying. Why are we not?
That's why we wanna have.
That's
a
why we wanna
conversation
talk to
with-
them.
Okay.
But
Understood.
that ain't really why I wanna talk to them, I wanna take it back, because we do better, we did better to communicate with our citizens than to just play music. They took it from us, it's something that the
No.
state, no, don't interrupt me, please.
Uh-uh.
It's something that the state took from us, and anything that the state took from us, I want it back.
Well, then you need to be getting rid of some stuff, some stuff.
We tried, don't start,
Uh-uh.
Commissioner,
Mm-mm.
don't start,
I'm
Commissioner.
not taking anything from our children.
Well, that's not on, that's not on you.
It's
You
on
can,
each and
you
every
can
last
fight,
one
you can
of us.
fight me if you want, but this
I'm
is
not
what we,
fighting you.
this is what we gonna do. We
I'm
need
not
a
fighting
radio
you.
station, and we need our radio
We have
station back.
one. We just need to strengthen our youth to run it and run it more efficiently and put a studio together and have people in the community to come and engage.
Do you know how long they have had this radio station? Over
They
12?
probably don't
11
even
years.
realize that what they can actually do with it, so it would be good if the young man would come forward.
All right, we're having
We have
that
a
discussion,
conversation.
that's through, and,
Everything
I-
doesn't have to be
Mr.
So,
a headache.
so if the school is still in the school process, will he be a person, will this be a partnership we come up?
We don't know, we haven't even gotten the discussion yet,
Oh.
but we know that it's a perfect avenue for communication.
I don't know, I'd like to really hear, because I got some equipment that I purchased for that purpose. Not realizing that this thing was running. I mean, I've spent some money.
You
That
might
was
even
given
have the
to
piece
me.
that we need.
No, I'm not, this was purchased for our youth, young leadership, stepping up into the young leadership roles. That's what this stuff was purchased for. And that's what it will be utilized for. So if you want ours, get ours, and I'll give them what was purchased.
Whatever,
specifically for
Mr.
them.
Commissioner, that is not a part of my conversation right now, so
Does that
whatever
include-
you wanna do, do it, cause it's all
No.
good.
Does that include the antenna? There was an antenna or something that was part of the
All I
discussion.
know is they sold all of our equipment to the Benton Harbor area school for $5,000. That's all I know.
$5,000. Our children are worth more than that.
Okay, off subject, this subject is closed. Let's talk about social media. I had some MML conversations about social media. So, I think that we need a presentation just so we can have some idea of where we need to go. And I hear that our police department gets all sorts of accolades for their Facebook account. So once we get some understanding about the legal part of it, then maybe we'll partner with the police department to help us out with that. I don't know. But it's essential that we get more line of communication, and social media is that. So we're gonna still keep those doors open, answer those questions, and maybe MML can bring their legal firm in to have a conversation with us next month. We'll see if they're available. Any comment on the social media part?
We don't have a Facebook page right now, do we?
Not for the city.
Why?
We don't have the facility, we don't have the capacity, and we don't know what legal things that we have to put in place legally as a government. So we're doing the research, and that is something that's coming up. Okay, any question on social media? Anyone? No. AmeriCorps, we were gonna have a discussion with the assistant city manager, and we never had it. Mr. Mitchell, do you know any other information about the AmeriCorps?
No, I thought Alex was gonna be here on that.
Mr. Mitchell, will you get me a appointment with Mr. Little, please? And so we can sit down and discuss AmeriCorps and recycling too. Could you get me a sit down with him?
I will do that.
Okay. Anybody want to comment on AmeriCorps? I know you got a lot to say about it.
Too much.
Would you like
Not
to,
enough time.
would you like to sit in on the meeting with myself and the city, assistant city manager?
To achieve what?
To have conversation as to how we could utilize AmeriCorps?
Actually, that's a conversation that's going to come up in a community-wide meeting that we're going to be having, because we have to choose a backbone organization for my brother's keeper, which is the arm of AmeriCorps. Now that Mr. Michael Smith is running AmeriCorps, and making sure that we can get what we need in our communities.
Is that to
I've
say,
shared a lot.
is that to say you don't want to have a meeting with me and Mr.
I don't
Little?
know I don't know, what is the meeting about?
We're talking about where
There are
AmeriCorps,
too many things that's going on within
well, maybe you
AmeriCorps.
need to share that with.
I've sent emails.
Oh, okay, all right. We're just gonna move forward with the conversation, and then whatever
Let me know.
whatever's
Yeah,
going
how
on
it goes.
that end, we'll come back together on it
Yeah,
in the
how
middle.
it goes.
Okay. Tech, the chamber conversation. Mr. Mitchell, what is your recommendation on this, microphone issue? They're wanting $10,000, outside of what they already got, and,
Madam Clerk was negotiating that, and had conversations with them.
This is a choppy
They don't have budget.
conversation.
We
I
had the
figured
conversation
they would,
here.
because if I was in their position, I wouldn't budge either. I
Ooh.
stick my pencil right in your eye and get that 10,000. But we're in that position,
Wait,
and what I'm saying, for $10,000, we could finish the thing. It's done. They'll be responsible for up to a year
$10,000.
and some other things. There's a lot of things that I'm looking at the terms and condition. They seem to be a competent company.
That's for the website?
No, now we're
this
talking
equipment.
about the chamber.
Oh, okay, so
Microphones.
what's wrong?
The microphones need to be hooked up to the system.
These are just old and they don't pick up the sound like they should, so
Oh.
we shouldn't have to do this.
Right.
We should just be able to
Right.
speak and it,
And what I couldn't understand is when I look at it, but I forgot I got natural bass. Cause my microphone can be way over there.
well, and I noticed too in some of the committee meetings, like the Brownfield or the DDA,
Yeah.
you can hear some people, like I can hear you when you speak.
Yeah.
I can't
Can't hear.
hear Chair Hall when she speaks.
But see, that's intentional on some of us.
No,
Yes, it is.
this,
Yes, it is.
But, but the thing is, the YouTube stream is not gonna pick it up if your microphone is not working correctly.
Exactly, yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
key.
So 10,000 more. What do we budget? Have we spent what we budgeted towards it? And how much was that?
We took it out of ARPA,
How much was that?
60 something.
We paid 60
69
for
or
what?
63 or something. For everything, all the cameras.
Those
the-
were-
All the cameras, all the new speakers.
all the
TVs,
monitors,
wiring,
all of blah, blah, now.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
these,
like
the
you don't
screens.
remember.
Oh,
okay.
Downstairs.
The new
All-
cameras,
yeah, all
the
of-
speakers downstairs.
So do these still work?
Yeah.
So they just there in the way.
They are, so, yeah, they need to come down, but we need tiles to replace them.
Okay, so
They're not hooked up.
So we still have some opera dollars and we need to complete this and get it taken care of. So I suggest that we do that. Fix this, get it out of the way and just move all this. Because I couldn't figure it out when it first showed up.
Now,
Because I know that we are in a different century and time and it didn't make any sense when it was done, for real. And what is this? Somebody please, what is this?
Old stuff.
Why is it there? Where did it come from?
It's all stuff that was hooked
sitting,
up.
it was all sitting up here.
I never saw that setting up there.
Where was? Well, let me ask you this question, Madam Clerk. These microphones are not sufficient, or if we spoke into them properly, will the system still work for us?
Yes.
Well,
But you have to talk into them
but you
directly.
got to talk into them.
Then
That's
we
what you
just
guys
need
should
to
be doing
recommend
anyway.
that.
Well, that sounds like,
We
that's,
need to just recommend
Told
that
y'all,
each
but y'all don't
person
wanna listen to it.
that's a board member,
It sounds
of
terrible
any
on the
committee.
radio.
authority, or whatever speaks into the mic so
That's
that they
what you're
can be
supposed to do.
heard.
Yes, because if you don't speak
Directly into the microphone.
$10,000.
the new YouTube stream, the way that, so that we can use the
camera and.
cameras and everything,
Yeah.
it's not gonna pick up anything. Like you will hear nothing on the YouTube.
There's some
if-
people that really
Unless
don't
you
wanna
are
be
using
heard
it.
though, because they know that you can play back and show the residents what they've said.
It'll probably go crazy.
All talking at once, the camera just go round and around.
Like, we don't need no.
But see, this moves the camera too.
Oh, that noise too.
Yeah, so like yours over here, these, because their bases are bigger,
Okay, I
Because
see.
what?
Yeah,
you hear
the
that?
noise.
Yeah.
That picks up the camera too. And so the camera, if he just moves his microphone closer to
He's
him,
gonna,
the camera's
camera's
gonna
gonna,
listen.
So
that
they
camera's
should-
gonna go like this.
So when the meeting first starts, they should be here, especially if I choose to just sit back on my chair like this.
And that's the issue sometimes.
Exactly. Then before the meeting starts, and it should be on the chair, who's
The,
ever chairing the meeting, please speak into your mic.
the other option was wireless ones.
Cause if it
Like,
costs us $10,000, we ain't gotta be
But
playing with that.
then you are not
Everything,
having to lean.
The
into
only
microphone.
reason I have a problem
but
with that is
everything
because
will be heard.
we had a gentleman that came in here and asked us for $10,000 more to take care of the cemetery. And we couldn't do that, and it's been going downhill ever since.
Commissioner,
Yeah.
we're talking apples and oranges,
No,
don't do
we're
that
not.
to us. We're trying to get through, and the city manager got something to do.
No, we need to be
So-
spending our dollars.
Let me ask the city manager, if that $10,000 is available, would it break us or hurt us? I think we should do it the right way
Yeah,
and allow the company to stand behind their workmanship. $10,000
but
is not a lot of money.
see, I asked in the beginning though if these were included.
We
I
said,
asked in the
I
very
know, but
beginning.
listen, we said no, that we were gonna try to use the ones that we had. It didn't work out. Now it's been months and we got to fix it. So I'm asking the city manager if this $10,000 is available or what is gonna break us or make us.
I don't think it'll make us or break us.
Okay,
Well,
do you think that we can move forward with this
I'll do this investigation tomorrow.
and immediately move forward, or do you think we need to have a resolution?
Yeah, it needs to go to the city commission,
Yeah,
but
Push it
our
forward,
next meeting is Monday.
Monday is the next
push it
meeting.
forward.
Let's push it
Don't play
forward
with
then, Mr. Mitchell.
And if they wanna discuss it, they can
appreciate
just take it off the agenda and have a discussion about it.
Well, we know that there's a problem and we need it, and we know that we're gonna have to just do it right. Okay, any questions, comments about communication and public relation? Hearing none,
Anyway,
hearing none,
what was the question?
is there any more comments about communication or public relations?
When the next meeting?
Next meeting is
April 24th.
24th.
Whitmer promotes free breakfast and lunch for students. Of course.
Okay,
why
thank
not?
you, everyone. We're going to adjourn now. Very good meeting.
Okay, so, oh, wait. Pastor Leslie found